welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you are new here. This is my little corner of the internet where I share my life as well as books that I have a little bit more of right now. They're standing right here. Can you see? Here they are. So that's great. My little collection here is growing. But we are here today because I want to share with you the books I have read in the month of January. January is over. Happy February. I'm filming this on the 1st, I believe. I don't know where January has gone. It was here and then it was gone. So that's fun. It was a pretty good month. So reading wise, I have read a lot of manga because there was one that I caught up on. There is one that I'm starting because I'm rereading that. There was one that I wanted to start because I was buddy reading with my friend. So there was a lot of that. There's also one book that I have started, but I haven't finished just yet. I thought I would finish it in January, but it didn't go to plan. And that is Red, White, and Royal Blue, which is a really cool book. So I'm gonna finish this one in February. This is like on my TBR for February, I guess. That's one that I can tell you about that I have as my current read. To start off, we're gonna go with the book that I have started the year with, and that is Jujutsu Kaisen manga. And I have read like, how many volumes? I have read volume 20 to volume 27 and have started volume 28 because I'm reading it on the Manga Plus app and it's coming out there regularly. So basically, like, you have no distinction of volumes in there, but I have found them on the story graph and I kind of followed how many chapters are supposed to be in a volume. So I have read 27 and the 28th is still currently reading because it's, you know, still coming out. So the chapters are still coming in for that one. I have read from volume 20 to volume 27 and oh my god, I have posted like a short review of every single volume that I have read that I haven't reviewed on my Instagram. So I'm gonna leave that linked down below in the description. But oh my god, the places the manga went, I don't know. It's sort of like at some point it kind of felt like I was reading a totally different story, which is kind of strange, but at the same time, like, it's fine because, you know, stories evolve and stuff like that. But it was just so weird at some point. And I felt like the main fight that was going on in the Shinjuku Showdown arc, that arc, and the fight that was going on, it's like weirdly, like, I know that we were building up throughout this entire manga for that very moment, but it felt weirdly very stretched out, which is fine because you had like those two strongest people against each other, so obviously it would like take a while, but it's still going on, you know, like there's still fights going on with this character, you know. I'm not gonna say just in case like someone who wants to read it watches this, so no spoilers, but it's still going on and I don't know. It feels like as much as it's hype on one hand, on the other it's like, can this be done already? Like, I kind of want something else but that, but at the same time it's like we were building up for this very moment, for this very fight to happen. And yeah, there's a lot of like crazy things happening at the moment in like the chapters that I'm gonna be in volume 28, and it's pretty insane. It's pretty insane. But also there's this one character that he's like a comic, right? And I don't know, like his curse technique is just something so strange. And there was like, I think an entire chapter or two dedicated to this guy, like Foolish Survivor it was called. There were like 2 chapters and they were dedicated to that and him making Kenjaku laugh, which is like fine, but the humor there, I bet it was supposed to be like that because this guy like thinks that he's funny even though he's not very funny. So the jokes that were happening in there were just so not funny. I was just reading that and I just like why? But thankfully, like the end of the Foolish Survivor was just like slap. Great, amazing. But that's because like another character showed up, and that's just, he's a slay. That's what I'm gonna say. Also, please don't mind my hair because it's currently still drying, so it may look a little bit weird and crazy. So please don't mind that. Thank you. I have read those. That's 8 volumes, right? 9 if you're counting the 28th one. So I basically wanted to catch up, and that's done. That's this manga finished for now. I'm gonna be definitely including volume 28 whenever I know where that's supposed to end. So that's gonna show up at some point in my other wrap-ups, but that's that for now. So after reading that, oh right, I haven't given you the ratings. I have my little journal here. This is basically like write down whatever I'm reading in these. I gave volume 20 5 stars, volume 21 4.25 stars, volume 22 4 stars. Like my Jujutsu Kaisen volumes that I give 5 stars are like top notch to me. Like I was hype. I was all for it. And there was a reason that they are like a huge 5-star in my book. Because like I love the fights in Jujutsu Kaisen. I love the action. I love what is like, you know, going on. But like I said, there are the volumes when the showdown is happening and it just feels very stretched out. And I just, as much as I love the action and I love the fights, it just at times just feels a little bit boring to feel like you're reading the same thing, you know? Like they open up a domain like 5 times each. So like please. Okay, volume 23 I gave 4.5, volume 24 I gave 4.25, volume 25 I gave 4.75, volume 26 4.5, and volume 27 I gave 4. And that's because I believe that volume 27 is the one that has Foolish Survivor in it, and it's just, it was a little bit less hype for me, but it was still solid and good. So next one that I want to talk about is Nana, which I got for so cheap. This is volume 1 for us here in Poland, but they made this so that it's 2 volumes in one. So it's volume 1 and volume 2 actually. Nana is basically about these 2 girls that have basically nothing in common apart from their name. Nana Komatsu, her life basically revolves around love and boyfriends, like her past boyfriends, her current boyfriends, and possibly future boyfriends, and she's all about that. And she's also all about moving to Tokyo. So when she manages to do that, she's kind of at the point where she wants to take her life into her own hands. Whereas the other Nana, Nana Osaki, is a very known person in her town because she's a part of a band with her boyfriend and 2 friends. The band is doing pretty well, but her boyfriend actually gets an offer to move to Tokyo and play with this other band, and so he basically drops his old band to go and pursue his dreams. She's a very charismatic person and she's very confident, and when she turns 20, she buys herself a ticket to Tokyo as well, and she goes there in pursuit of her dreams and career. What's funny is they basically moved on the same day and like were on the same train and met on that train, and that's where their roads like basically collided. And yeah, it's been just so much fun to follow these 2 girls because they are so different, yet just their dynamic together is so fun to see. And yeah, on this cover, this is Nana Osaki. But we've got the pretty pictures in this book. It's like, I really love the colorful illustrations in this. And this one has Nana Osaki and Nana Komatsu. So Yeah, this is pretty awesome, isn't it? Like, I love them so much. I love this book a lot. And I cannot wait to get my hands on the other volumes and to continue on with the series. This is like basically a manga classic. So it's something that like everybody knows. So I'm just really excited to follow their story further, and I think it's gonna be a lot of fun. Now, talking about their friends, there is like a lot of problematic things about Nana Komatsu's friends that she moves to Tokyo with, let's say, because her friends were already living in Tokyo by the time that she was able to move to Tokyo. But there's just something about them that is very much off, and at the beginning you don't really notice that, but it's further into the story when she's trying to get her life into her own hands, because that's what they tell her to do all the time. And when she does it on her own terms, like, they are super mad at her all the time. And it's just so manipulative. And they really treat her like a child when she's trying to like break out from this childish persona. It's just really sad to see, because she's honestly trying so hard to like be independent, and whatever she's doing, her friends are really putting her down for it, and it's not cool. Like, I really don't like that. And her boyfriend is kind of the same. He's also like not really helping with like supportive words. He's just more of scolding her all the time for the decisions that she's making, and it's just really annoying. I wish she had other friends. But I'm glad that she knows this Nana and they actually live together. So she gets to learn from this very charismatic and confident person how to also be that, you know? And I feel like that's gonna be like a very cool story to follow for that reason as well. And Nana Osaki is a person who really loves to hide her own feelings, and she's not really like very expressive in her life. I feel like more expressive in her music, which is awesome. But I feel like Nana Osaki is gonna be the one who will learn to kind of wear her heart on her sleeve a little bit more from Nana Komatsu, because she's that sort of person. She's that sort of fun, childish persona. And I feel like Nana Osaki is like bottling a lot of things up in her, and she's gonna learn a lot from Nana Komatsu about how to like be comfortable with emotions, you know? And that's such an interesting dynamic to me. I love that so much. So yeah, I'm super excited about that. Nana Osaki actually has like incredible friends. I really love her group of friends, and I really love the band. Her boyfriend, not so much. But her other friends, like, I love them so much. They're super cute. And one of her friends actually like came to Tokyo just so he could play with her, which I think he might be kind of in love with her, and that's why he like really wants to play for her and her voice only. But yeah, we'll see how that's gonna go. I gave this a 4.5, I believe. Yeah, I gave it a 4.5, and I really loved it. I buddy read this with my friend Sylvie, so yeah, I really enjoyed discussing this with her, and she's actually the one who, like, I wasn't at the part where the manipulation coming from Nana Komatsu's friends was like that apparent, but she told me about that before, and I was like, what are you talking about? Like, they're fine. And then they weren't fine. She was actually much quicker than me in reading these. But there's also a thing about me where I don't read manga that fast. I feel like most people get through manga like very quickly. I don't, and I kind of have at the back of my mind, like, ever since I saw someone say that mangakas take so long to create a scene for their manga, and then you kind of read it and stare at it for like 30 seconds while you're reading it, and then just flip the page and don't look at it again. But ever since I started reading manga, I was the person who would like read the manga and I would read the text, but I would scan the pages like even a few times just to not miss anything. And that's the sort of thing that takes me like a little while. So the entire volume, when I read it, takes a lot longer than it probably would to other people, because I don't know, I just want to soak up what these mangakas have drawn, you know? And there's like a lot of things happening usually, because you have like the background, you have the things that are happening, you have the characters and their emotions and stuff like that. As much as like I read the text, sometimes I even reread the text itself, you know, because I really don't want to miss anything. And so I like go through it sometimes a few times, or even like go back to something to see again. My friend definitely read this faster than me, but yeah, that's just sort of how I go about any manga that I read. It takes a little bit longer to me for those reasons. Now that I have this thing that someone had said at the back of my mind all the time, I just want to appreciate what these mangakas do and pour their hearts into way more. I really want to like stare at the art. I want to stare at the characters and appreciate everything that's happening. So just so you know, this is how like this manga looks like. This is the art style, and I just really love it. But these characters are like super super similar to Paradise Kiss ones as well, which is very interesting. The style is the same because it's the same author, but when I haven't read this and I didn't know the characters, I was like, oh my god, like I'm seeing this one, I'm seeing this one, I'm seeing that one, and they're all from Paradise Kiss. This was another one. Then I have read Agnes Grey by Bronte, which is a book that kind of reads like a journal, a diary of sorts, and it's about Agnes Grey, who wants to become independent. So she gets an idea that she can become a governor and help her family out financially. And so she leaves home and she finds these families that she can help and teach their kids. It's basically like a good depiction of the Victorian era society. And it was actually very fun to read. It had like a lot of different themes. The most like prominent one, I guess, was the disrespect of women, as well as the animal abuse. There was just a lot of scenes where those were like very prominent, but at the same time, I feel like this was supposed to be a little bit like a coming of age story, which I did not feel like it was, because I don't feel like the main character, Agnes Grey, actually did a lot of growing up. Like, I don't think she progressed as a character much, and she really felt like this person who would try to put their opinion on you, like push it on you, you know, opinion, morals, and stuff like that. And it makes sense because she was a teacher. She was supposed to kind of be teaching you all these like sort of morals, and sometimes the things that she said, like, I agreed with, definitely, but it just felt very pushy. It was a very pleasant read. This is a very pretty edition of the book. I think I've shown this before actually, but it's very beautiful. I gave the book a 4-star. I still have the bookmark in here, but this is, yeah, I just think it's very pretty. It was a very nice read. Like, I can't say that this was like a bad book or something. Literally can. There were also passages where she would say that she was going to like not talk about something, like she was telling this to the reader. So she would tell you like, oh, I'm not going to talk about this one. And then she would continue to talk about said thing that she said she wouldn't talk about, which was a little bit confusing, but okay, I guess. And yeah, this was just, it was a very pleasant read. It was quite, like, in the beginning, it felt quite like Anne of Green Gables vibes, but it's definitely not that. There's also actually a romance of sorts in here. I can't say that this book is a romance in itself, like I definitely cannot say that, but I did see a tag of this being that it's a romance. I don't think it is, because like there isn't like a very prominent romance in it. It's just like this man shows up, and thank goodness that he does, because the story gets a little bit more interesting thanks to that. In the end, you just are sort of left with that. And the people that she actually teaches and takes care of are a very good depiction of like classes in society. And you will be shown sort of depiction of like the rich, and you will be shown her as the person who was just trying to make money and help her family out and try to be a little bit more independent and stuff. And yeah, it was very interesting, because the rich in every single every single time they would be shown as these very annoying, like stuck up people. I think like you can be rich and not be that, but at those times, like in Victorian era, it was definitely a thing like that you would pay more attention to. And so the rich would like really be super important, and everybody else was just kind of like meh. And they would treat them like crap. They would treat like animals like crap, even if they were their own animals, which was like very whoa. But yeah, it was a very nice read. The writing was very good as well, so I enjoyed that. As much as I enjoyed this, like it didn't really leave like a huge mark on me or anything like that. Yeah, it read like a diary, and I think there's a reason for that, because it apparently is sort of based on Anne Bronte's experience. There's that. I don't know what else to say. I have written a review for Instagram for this book as well, so I'm gonna leave that in the description as well, so you can check that out if you're interested. 4-star. I would recommend still. Like it's a very nice book. And it's a classic, and some people just really want to read all the classics, so I would recommend. Some people don't even know that this book exists. So I didn't either. Actually, like I never heard of this book, so do with that what you will. Grab a copy if you want. It's a very like short book in this case. It was like 200 something pages. It's a bigger format, so 244 pages, but it's a little bit of a bigger format, so. The next thing that I have read is the case study of Vanitas, chapter 62.5. And again, yes, I do include chapters in my wrap-ups, because the case study of Vanitas has this like serial thing on the story graph, and every time a chapter comes out, it's like updated there, so I add it to my read books anyway, and so I include them in my wrap-ups as well. I gave it a 4-star, but I remember enjoying what was going on, because we are like heading deeper into the new arc, and we're like finally, I feel like very close to starting like the investigation for this arc. Just super excited about where this is gonna go, to read more about these characters. And yeah, it feels a little bit sad that we have to wait a month. At the same time, like I understand it takes a very long time to draw everything and to make this story. And the last thing that I have read, which I actually read yesterday, I thought that I would read Red, White and Royal Blue as well, but that didn't happen, obviously, like I said. I have read Pandora Hearts, Volume 1. It's a reread for my series that is coming to this channel very soon. I actually need to film an update after reading the Volume 1, but I gave it a 3.5 stars. First time that I have read it in October of 2022, from what I've seen, because I added a reread to my story graph yesterday. Stand by that star rating, because it's an introduction, but this time it's, you know, I knew the characters and I knew where the story is going, how it's gonna start and stuff like that. I definitely felt a bit more excited to get to seeing all of these characters. And when my faves have shown up, I was just freaking out, and you're gonna see that in the vlog that I have filmed. But there were some scenes already that I was just like, oh my god, oh my god. I love it so much. I was a little bit worried that I wouldn't like it as much, but I feel like when I'm gonna get to like the further volumes where the story gets like a little bit thicker, you know, the characters, they grow and stuff like that, I'm just gonna love it so much more. I'm just super excited to see how that's gonna go. If I'm gonna cry at the same volumes that I have cried before, if I'm gonna react the same ways to the things, and you know, if the hype is gonna just stay there. I'm just super excited, and I have my old reading journal here actually, and I can show you. I actually think that I might reread the light novels for this as well, for the video, but we'll see. Let me know if you want to see that as well, if you're one of the people who comment on videos, because I know that I'm the type of silent watcher, so I don't really blame people for not commenting much. I just want to show you that I have like pages of Pandora heart stuff here. And I have left like very little space for these because I have thought that I wouldn't have that many thoughts, you know, they're a manga. I was like, I'm just gonna leave a little bit of space for every single one. And then I was left with having to use these because I had so many thoughts on some of the volumes. Like, come on. See? There was just so much, and there are times where I just left, you know, an entire page and I still had to use something. I just had so many thoughts and so many like theories and stuff like that. And this was just, I think this is the last one actually. Is it? Yeah, 24 volumes. It was a ride to read that, honestly. And I'm just so glad that I did and that I brought this with me, because now after reading every single volume, I can kind of go through this and see what I thought. That is my wrap up. I'm gonna talk more about the Pandora heart thing in my video that will be coming after I read 6 volumes, because there's like 24, so I thought that I would make 4 videos for that, about like 6 volumes in each. So that's gonna happen. And you're gonna have to wait for that a little bit, because I will be reading like other books besides Pandora Hearts, I think. So that's my wrap up. I don't think I'm gonna set like a TBR for February, because like I said in my other videos, I just want to read books for my physical TBR. So I'm gonna just be picking whatever from here, and I really want to read these Cassie Clare books as well. You know, I love the Shadowhunters world. We're gonna dive into that. But yeah, also, do you like this and this? This is my vision board that I have did when I was back at home. And this I actually got as a present from my best friend, and one of my best friends, and she got it for me because she said that it reminded her of me, like the moment that she saw it, which is so sweet. It's a planner, so I'm like super excited to use it as well. And it says, keep dreaming, keep creating, keep chasing possibility. And it's actually a collab with someone, and yeah, it's just pretty freaking cool. Also turn on the little lights, but the lighting is actually changing because today is just a very gloomy, like rainy day, but at the same time the sun was out a few times already, so I don't know. This is it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. If you made it to the end, please let me know in the comments what your favorite read of January was. If there is anything that you want to see from me, you can let me know in the comments as well, or message me on Instagram or something like that. I'm always open to talk. Thank you so much for watching. You can like the video if you enjoyed it. You can subscribe to my channel to not miss any other future videos. There are like a bunch coming. There's also a bunch of like throwback vlogs coming. This is what I'm gonna call them, so you get a sneak peek. They are throwback vlogs because they are from 2023. There's content coming, I swear. I just need to find it in myself to edit. Thank you so much, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!